Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a reading on increasing our intuitive abilities. This is going to be from August 16th to 31st, 2021. And if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out this channel, and I appreciate it very, very much. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Now I want to apologize for my voice. I am getting over the flu, so bear with me. Let's let the bull sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra. August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Libra. Increasing your intuitive powers, angels, and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Hanged Man. We're seeing things differently, and this is at the root of us. We are going to be seeing things in a different light altogether, and we might think, wow, there's something wrong with me. I'm not seeing things like everybody else. I'm not seeing things the way that I used to. And we need to balance this. We need to balance the new way that we're seeing things with our old traditions, our old ideas, our old ways of letting in our intuition, letting in our guiding light, but also balancing what we need to do and how we need to move forward. In our inner self, we have the Page of Swords, which is us. We're coming through as a student. We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana, Libra. We're represented in the major arcana by the Justice card. And then we have the Hanged Man again. We need to be students of the new way that we're seeing things, of this new connection that's guiding us forward, that's leading us to better understanding. Then we have the Seven of Swords. We're taking up information. We're seeing what's important to us and what isn't, what needs to be, kept for a later date when we're ready for that to be revealed, and what needs to be let go, what isn't going to be useful to us anymore. But also our hearts are really looking at the lies that have been fed to us for some time from others, from ourselves, and we're going to start to see ourselves really casting freedom in a very different light. This moves us to the Chariot. Our heart is the repeat of the number 7. This is a time where the truth is going to be very important to us. We're going to want people to tell us the truth, whether we want to hear it or we don't, whether it's uncomfortable for us or whether it isn't. And the Chariot is us being warriors of the heart, being warriors of our emotions, of what we desire, of the way that we want to move forward, of what we're looking for, and who we are. And it brings us to the public arena, which has the 10 of Cups. we're starting to really embrace in the public world what we love and why we love it. And then it brings us to nature. And here, nature is a huntsman setting a bear trap. And this is the devil card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And we're going to be the one seeing the huntsman setting the bear trap, the bear seeing the trap being set. So as we're embracing what we love, we're seeing all the traps that come up as we follow our hearts, as we follow what we love, what we want, what we desire from our lives, the way that we want to embrace our souls and ourselves, but also the way that embracing ourselves puts us in a more vulnerable state than those who have this armor on and who are absolutely almost impenetrable in the way that they present themselves to the world. So let's see the energy we have to be mindful of during this time, Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is the Princess of Pentacles. What we have to be mindful of is, first of all, an energy of kind of like this person being a princess, thinking that the money is supposed to come to them, thinking that the wealth and the prosperity is supposed to fall in their laps. But we could also have a tendency during this time, and this isn't, necessarily a rebuke, but this is just something that's going to happen, where we should think that this should be happening a lot easier. Like things should be falling in place a lot more quickly. And we can start to get really frustrated with ourselves and think, wow, why is this taking me so long? And other people get this instantaneously. We only see people, especially in our world today, but always in like forever. I mean, the Victorians edited their pictures, which I think is hysterical. So as soon as we learned how to take pictures, we learned how to edit them to make us appeal more appeasing to others. So what we're going to see is that we have this edited version of what we should be, of how we should be moving forward, of what success is. And we don't see all the hard work behind it. And we don't see all the heartbreak and the disappointments and the despair, unless people want us to see that, if that's not choreographed into their story for some reason or another. So during this time, we have to be the nurturers of our prosperity and what we desire. What we have to be mindful of is the falling into the trap that, oh my gosh, this is easier for everybody else than me, because it isn't. It isn't. Everybody is traversing the same minefield that we ourselves are traversing. Excuse me. So let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And it's going to be these two. I'm just going to take a sip of water. I do apologize. And we have here the root chakra and the throat chakra. So with the root chakra, we have family. With the throat chakra, we have truth. Truth in our family, truth in the family that we were born into, truth in the family that we've created for ourselves, truth at our root with who we are, truth at our center. And this is going to be a time where we need to focus on our root chakra, on our throat chakra. We need to focus on the loving, healing energy from our angels, from our spirit guides, from the people around us, from our own healing energy within our lives to move us forward. We need to focus on our truth. What is right for us and what isn't? What do we need to walk away from and say, you know what, this just isn't where I need to be. This just isn't who I am. And then being able to say, but this is me. This is the me I need to let forward. This is the voice I need to let shine. And it brings us to the hangman. This is going to be a time where it's rather brave. It's rather brave for us to understand that we don't see things the same way as everybody else. We're not following the same rules. We're not moving forward in the same way. And so here we start to see things differently. And as we see things differently, we start to see ourselves differently. And as we see ourselves differently, we start to see our goals. We start to see what we desire. We start to see where we want to be. We start to see how we want to be differently. And the hangman brings us to this greater understanding. It brings us to a topsy-turvy way that we're embracing our world. It brings us to a greater understanding of who we are and where we're going and why we're going there. But we also have to understand during this time that it will be very easy for us because we're not going to fit into the conventional mold to think, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this wrong. Oh my gosh, this isn't the right way for me. And just kind of want to step away from it. And this is going to be a time where we can't step away from who we are. I mean, we can. So saying we can't is kind of harsh. But to step away from the changes that are coming in, from step away from the magic that is coming around us, that's not necessarily going to be the right move. It might be the easier move, but it's not going to be right for us in the long run. So embracing the changes that are around us is going to be one of the bravest and one of the most powerful things we do at this time. And that brings balance. That brings balance into our hearts and into our souls. That starts to calm us. That starts to center us. Now, here, if we have Sagittarius energy within our chart, this is coming through as a rooting energy, just like our Cancer energy, if we have that within our chart, is coming through as a heartfelt energy, and Capricorn is coming through in the public arena. So we have to be very aware of this during this time. We are being rooted in this idea of balance. We are being rooted in this idea of harmony and greater understanding, but also the mutation of something, the transformation of something, the transformation of pure water into tea, just by adding tea leaves. And that's why we have the little teapot here being poured. We have this transformation of self and ideas and of desires and hopes and dreams and wishes. And it starts to lead us to balance, but it also starts to lead us to understanding that in our inner self, we're walking between worlds. We're walking between worlds of inspiration and desire. We're walking between worlds of the subconscious and the conscious. We're walking between the want and the need. We're walking between everything. And if we let go of our dreams, if we let go of what's guiding us, if we let go of what we hope for, we're letting go of so much of who we are, more so than we even realize. So just being aware of that during this time is going to be powerful for us, is going to be a game changer. And it leads us to being a student of the messages that are coming our way. This would be a perfect time to keep a notebook around us, to look at any modality that we're looking to connect with, even if it's just being able to connect in prayer or in meditation with divinity more. If it's being able to connect with the tarot or the runes or, any form of divination, tea leaves, or whatever it is, being able to connect with Spirit's message to us is going to be something that we're getting messages about. It's going to be something that we're kind of studying. So if we jot down in a little notebook, if we take these notes, if we let these ideas tumble forward within us, these expressions, and it can also come through colors, through this expression of what does red mean for me, and what does pink mean for me, and what is blue, and what is this black that I'm seeing? Is it a bad thing or is it a really good thing? Is it an elegant thing? It's starting to change within us. It's starting to move us forward, to be able to interpret the way Spirit talks to us, to be able to interpret the way the doors are opening, because the doors open for each and every one of us differently. And the problem that we have a lot of the time is that we'll have a teacher, we'll have somebody to guide us, and they'll be like, well, these are the rules. I remember I had one teacher with the tarot, and she was very, very strict. She's like, okay, you have a great intuitive sense of everything, but you don't know the basis really well, and you have to have that drilled into you. And that was nice. It was helpful, but for me, there always needs to be this more kind of ephemeral approach to things. So embracing that, moving forward in that greater understanding, that's going to be the game changer for us. And that's going to be something that has us seeing things differently, having us be a student of our own certain spin, our own certain take on things, to open up the doors, to open up the gateways. And it brings us to understanding the lies that are around us, to understanding the hurts and the pains and the disappointments that we've held within our hearts that don't really have a purpose there anymore, that are holding us back instead of letting us move forward, letting us fly, letting us gain an understanding. This is going to be a time where we can kind of see ourselves cleaning house. We're looking emotionally at the excuse me, the nasty words that somebody said to us that we hold on to, the hurts and the pains of the past that seem to make up so much of our present, and or just even scarring moments, like when we stood in front of the classroom and weren't ready for the spelling bee or whatever it is that we had to participate in. Now we're starting to see ourselves let it go. Now we're starting to see our moments in different lights, and also being kinder to ourselves, understanding that maybe in that part of our lives we were wrapped up to an 8 or a 9 or a 10 in the stress level that we were in. And so anything that was going to be added onto that was going to be an explosive moment. And so we have to be kinder to ourselves. Maybe we overreacted in some situations, but overreacting might very well have been kind of like the only option available to us when we were so stressed out. So with the 7 of Swords, we're learning what to take with us and what to leave away, what to alleviate the stress of our heart from, and what to say, okay, well, you know what, this I'm learning from, or this I need to kind of explore more later. And it brings us to the Chariot, and it brings us to moving forward with the conscious and the subconscious part of ourselves. It brings us to moving forward with the shadowed self and the person that we let see the light of day every single day, and the person that we want to be, the person we aspire to be, and the person that we aspire never to be. And we start to find our middle ground. We also start to find that our hearts are warriors, that there is more to us than meets the eye, and maybe running away from the depth of emotion that we have and from the balance of emotion, because temperance is all about balance. But we, represented as the justice in the major arcana card, we're all about balance. We need to have balance. And as an air sign, we need to have truth. And justice needs to have truth. We have that in our chakra. We have that as our basis with our family, with the root chakra. What is the truth about our roots, about how we're building ourselves forward? What are the toxic seeds that we need to release? What is the beauty that we need to move forward in from this life and also from past lives? And being able to embrace the way that we see the world, the way that we see ourselves, the ambitions that we have, and the things that we never want to experience again. The charioteer is a warrior, but more than it's a warrior, it's a leader. The charioteers of ancient days were not the everyday foot soldier. They were the kings and the queens, the emperors, the empresses, the pharaohs. And so during this time, we start to see ourselves as rulers. We start to see ourselves as powerhouses. And it moves us to the public arena, being able to embrace what we love, being able to embrace love openly and honestly. The 10 of Cups is, and they all live happily ever after. And everybody doesn't live happily ever after the same ways. We might all kind of instinctually want the same thing. Maybe we all want somebody who loves us, but we want that love expressed in different ways. Maybe we all want somebody who, respects us, but that respect is translated in different ways. So we start to embrace our own unique roads of happiness. We start to embrace what success looks like for us, what accomplishment looks like for us, what joy looks like for us. And as we do so, we start to see the traps that get set because of our own wants and needs, because of our own vulnerabilities. We start to see the hurts and the pains and the disappointments that others set forward to try and set us backwards. And this is going to be a time where, if we are aware, if we really connect with spirit, or even if we're semi-connected with spirit, we start to see the landmines that are around us. We start to see the ways that we can be pulled back into doubt, despair, hurt, pain, disappointment. And we can start to see how we can elevate ourselves to new and unimagined levels. And traverse those traps, like not be set off in the bear trap, not be severed from what is sacredly a part of ourselves. Now, the subconscious energy to be mindful of here is the Prince of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But this is also being too married to one way of having something move forward, one way of having something evolve within our lives, and also really being drawn to people who are really stubborn in the way that they're going to build their future. They don't have that kind of give and that take, that beautiful ebb and flow, and we need that ebb and flow during this time, Libra. But we are going to be really attracted to people who are very staunch, who are very, kind of like, it has to be like this and it has to be like that because I said so. This is going to be a time of expression. Excuse me. It leads us to our subconscious chakra message, which is psychic development, which is what we're talking about here when we're talking about embracing our intuitive abilities. We're talking about the development of our intuitive self, of our, tenacity and desire and want and need and connection with spirit, and the way that we can move forward and trust that voice inside of ourselves and see ourselves rising in our energy vibration, rising in the light that shines from our eyes, rising in the quality of life that we live, and things start to become beautiful. It's not about the more and more and more that we can accumulate, that the world tells us if you can have more, you will be happy. It's about the quality of what is coming into our lives and how we are embracing it. And it moves us then. And if we can open up our third eye, if we can open up and see that the psychic development is there, that our intuitive power is coming innately, subconsciously, and let it fall forward, that's going to be extraordinary. It moves us to our subconscious rooted self, which is the Lovers. This is Gemini energy. This is a sense of understanding that there is always more than one side to a story, always more than one path to be walked. There is always beauty and coming together and greater understanding and intricacy of heart and idea and emotions. And this is going to be a time subconsciously where we need to really understand the difference between what we love and what we lust for, what we want because our souls deeply kind of need it for existence, and what we want because we want to show everybody that, like, we have what they don't. So being aware of this during this time is going to be very, very helpful, because it's going to be like, okay, where do I need to put my time and put my effort, and why do I need to, and how am I moving forward? It moves us then to our subconscious inner self, which is the Knight of Wands, passion and fire and determination. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is a sense of, I'm not going to stand back in the corner. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to go after what I want. There is a force behind me. There's a tidal wave behind me. There's this raging fire behind me, moving me forward. And this is going to be a time in our inner selves, as we're seeing things differently, as we feel ourselves between two worlds, as we're being students, as we're taking it all in. We kind of want things to happen faster and faster and faster. And yet we kind of have to step back and say, okay, what is it that my heart needs? What is it that my soul desires? Where is it that I want to be? Why is it that I want to be there? And really opening up our eyes to this as we move forward. Having our armor on too, because our heart knows the lies that we have been through, and the hurts and the betrayals and the disappointments. It leads us to our subconscious emotional self, which is the King of Pentacles. We are meant to be prosperous. We are meant to be prosperous as we move forward in the power of emotional intuition. And as we embrace this power of emotional intuition, we see ourselves branching out in different ways. We see ourselves finding new avenues and new pathways of success that we never even thought could be a part of who we are. It brings us then to our public arena self, and that is the Three of Cups. We have to honor those who honor us, but we also have to realize that we are carrying with us so much energy from people who raised their cups, who said, I'd stand by you, I celebrate you, and yet didn't and couldn't. And this is a time where we need to acknowledge that, understand those hurts and those pains and those disappointments, but not let them be our story anymore. Not let them be the, I'll show you, or, oh my gosh, I can't let that happen to me mentality that drives us forward. It's the, I'm going to celebrate myself, and I'm going to move forward with those who love me, surrounding myself with either the family I was born into that celebrates me, the family that I've created that celebrates me, and I'm moving forward in joy and in jubilance. And even if that's right now just my spiritual family, that's going to be something that's really, really quite important for us, Libra. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the changes that are to come. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.